there, friends. Welcome back to my kitchen today. We are going to be making a simple but delicious recipe that is actually really great for meal prep today. We are going to be making honey sriracha glazed turkey meatballs and then serving them in a bowl with some brown rice and then some fresh raw veggies for some nice crunch. So let's jump right into the ingredients for this super simple recipe. For the meatballs themselves, we have a pound of ground turkey and I have 1 egg so it doesn't roll off to the side. We're going to be using some panko breadcrumbs, some green onions, which as you can see the bunch I got was really sad, so I had to rip off a bunch. And then some salt and pepper. And then for the sauce, that's where the bulk of our ingredients come in. We're going to be using some rice wine vinegar, of course sriracha as the title mentioned, some honey, a little bit of toasted sesame oil, obviously soy sauce because these are Asian inspired meatballs. And no, this is not ice cream. I store my ginger in the freezer so it lasts longer. So this is fresh ginger, and then we have some fresh garlic, and then that's what our sauce is. And then for serving today, I'm just gonna do a little bit of avocado, some cucumbers, and then I have these matchstick carrots. But another really good option that I like to do is to add some radishes sliced up really thin. It makes for a really nice presentation and it's delish. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on pause and get started with our prep. I'm going to get our rice going, our brown rice. So brown rice takes a really long time to cook, like 40 minutes. So we're just going to do it in the Instant Pot because the Instant Pot is my jam. So in here, I just added 2 cups of brown rice, 2 cups of water, and then I sprayed the inside of the pot before I put that in there with a little pan, and then I added a teaspoon of salt. We're gonna go ahead and put the lid on the old Instant Pot, put it to sealed, and then we are going to set it for 15 minutes. And then forget it, it's gonna start doing its thing. So that is our brown rice. After it is done cooking, we are gonna leave it to sit there for 5 minutes before we release the pressure. Go ahead and crack your egg into the bowl with your turkey and set it to the side. My favorite trick for cutting up scallions is just to wash them and then use kitchen shears and cut directly into the bowl. It's so much neater than chopping them on the board. Next, we are going to be adding in, come on, I had to go and do something for the girls, our panko breadcrumbs. A half of a cup of panko breadcrumbs, and then I added a half of a teaspoon of salt and a half a teaspoon of black pepper, and that is literally, oh, and a half of a teaspoon of garlic powder, excuse me. That is literally it for the meatballs. You just go ahead and mix it thoroughly with your hands. You just want to mix everything until it's combined. There's no specific amount of mixing or any magic tricks. Just make sure your hands are clean. This turkey was still a little bit frozen, so I had a couple of lumps in there. Make sure to break them up in the event that yours is the same, because you don't want to have like a chunk of unseasoned meat, which would probably end up being a whole meatball. That would suck. So anyhow, I went ahead and washed my hands, and now we're going to go ahead and roll our meatballs. As I had mentioned earlier, if you do have a cookie scoop, that makes things so much more even, like the division of the meat itself. But in any case, this makes 20 meatballs, so you're going to want to divide it accordingly and roll your meatballs using wet hands. It makes the meat easier to handle because it doesn't stick as much to your hands, but I don't really find that turkey sticks that much in any case in comparison to like ground beef. Maybe because the fat content is so much lower. So here we are. Oh, and I did want to mention I do have a Silpat on my cookie sheet, and it's just a standard size cookie sheet. And I always thought that Silpats were like something bougie and fancy until I got them, but they are so wonderful. I got a package of 3 for like $12 at Costco, and I highly recommend that you add that to your kitchen arsenal. All right, folks, so these are what our meatballs look like. This recipe makes 20 meatballs. I would say they're probably like a tablespoon and a half each, or like if you had a small cookie dough scooper, that's what I used to use, but mine broke. So here we go. These are just our meatballs. I'm waiting for the oven to preheat to 375, and then we are going to bake these off. And while they bake off, we are going to be making our sauce for the meatballs, and we will prep our the avocado and the cucumber and whatever we're going to toss on top. So these are going to bake off for 20 to 25 minutes. I will put them in, and then we'll be back in a jiffy. Okay, so the next thing that I went ahead and did, and you'll have to excuse me, I didn't show it to you. I'm not going to time lapse it. My children have locked themselves in my bedroom, and I had to use a screwdriver to get them out, so we're not having a good time right now. But I've got 1 inch of ginger, fresh ginger that was frozen, and I used this microplane to grate it. And then we have 3 cloves of garlic, also grated. Our oven is at 375, so I will pop those meatballs in 1 second. And then our measurements on the remaining ingredients are a 1/4 cup of sriracha, and then everything else will be in 3 tablespoon increments. So 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, 3 tablespoons of honey, and 3 tablespoons of rice vinegar. For the toasted sesame oil, this is really like an acquired taste. Like, I don't even like it that much, to be honest. So I'm just going to put a little drizzle, probably about like a 1/2 teaspoon in towards the end. And then I'm going to be using this new sweet nonstick pan that my husband got me. I'm excited because all my others are stainless steel, which is great, don't get me wrong, but he bought me some nonstick ones so I can do eggs, and I'm really excited to try this one. So I'm going to go ahead and get all of the sauce ingredients in here and then put it on medium heat, and then just kind of let that simmer away while these meatballs bake. Our finished sauce looks like it's been simmering away for just a very little time, like maybe like 3 or 4 minutes, and it's nicely thickened up. You can see that the ginger and the garlic isn't visible anymore, so it has kind of melted away into the sauce. And then we're just going to turn this off and set it to the side and wait for our meatballs. And we'll toss them in and start assembling our bowls. Alright, so these are our turkey meatballs. They've all done cooked. And now they're going to jump into our sauce. And I know this doesn't look like that much sauce, but it is more than enough to coat it. This is not a sauce that we're going to drizzle over our food. It's just for the meatballs. So you could double or triple it if you were feeling like you wanted really spicy sauce on everything. So I just raised the heat again because this is solidified a little bit because it's been sitting here. Go ahead and get out a spoon. And then we're going to start placing our meatballs right in the sauce. And they are hot. I'm just kind of, as I'm doing it, like spinning them along the side because I really don't want this like fat chunk stuff that is leaked out of the meatballs in the sauce. I just think that that's kind of gross. So I'm going to go ahead and continue to add these to the pot, and I will be back once they're starting to get coated. Okay, so these are our meatballs. They have nicely been coated with our sauce. There's a little bit left over in the pan, and we can use that to drizzle over the tops of them once we've made our bowls. But then to finish everything off, pardon the phone charger, it's been a long day. We have our cucumbers. I've diced up some pineapple. I've got some avocado, some matchstick carrots, some lime, and then here is our Instant Pot brown rice. It is nice and fluffy. There is no water left in the bottom of the pot, and it's a good texture. 15 minutes is a good amount of time to cook it on. So let me go ahead and get our bowls assembled, and I will be back with the finished product. Alrighty, this is our finished product. Here's your water, Fifi. Sorry, this video has been a little bit hectic. Our finished product, we have our meatballs sitting atop a pile of our Instant Pot brown rice, a little bit of avocado on the side, and then our fresh veggies. So this looks good and super healthy. And if you are going to be dividing these into meal prep containers, this recipe that I posted just now should make 4 meal prep portions, being 5 meatballs each, which is 8 Weight Watchers Smart Points. if you happen to be interested in that. And then we're eating 2/3 of a cup of brown rice, and then the veggies is whatever. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry it was a little bit disorganized. I will do better on the next one, and have a wonderful day. This is just a little quick shot of what an example of a meal prep container could look like. So I thought I would throw that in for you. Thanks for taking time to watch my video. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to like and subscribe. And if you really enjoyed it, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of all my other posts. Here's a couple of links to some of my other videos that I thought you might enjoy. Thanks, have a great day.